How's it going, everybody? Welcome to my Future Has Been Face Fucked, episode 3. I'm your host, Shaun. I have somebody else with me in my studio.
Hi, I'm Dan.
This is Dan. If you watch our video game reviews, Dan used to be in them, and then we decided we didn't want him in there anymore. Not really. He'll be making his return shortly. But anyways, the reason I brought Dan on to this episode is because we were both lovers of documentaries. And also music.
Mm-hmm.
So we put them together, and they're music documentaries. Actually, it's probably like 80% of what we watch, like through Netflix and stuff. Documentaries, and then
TV shows.
And like sitcoms that we would never watch otherwise.
Because you feel too gay watching, but then you get sucked in, and it's too late.
Yeah, well, then you're already like. Once you're like 200 episodes in, you're like, well, I can't quit now.
I mean, I know. Ghost Whisperer.
Are Marshall and that other lady gonna have a baby?
Oh, I don't know, man.
I don't know. That's crazy. Well, anyways, so we both are really big fans of music documentaries, music-oriented documentaries. Excuse me, not really concerts. I mean, not to say that we don't enjoy concerts.
Yeah.
But we mean like narrative documentaries.
You like learning about.
Like the biography.
Yeah, biographies of bands.
Yeah, like that type of stuff.
Little insight to the stuff that goes on.
Well, it's funny actually. Well, and that's the kind of the double nature, the double-edged sword of like any kind of like biographical documentary.
It's like the Doors. Like you end up you don't like Jim Morrison as much.
Well, it almost like makes you not like the band sometimes because like you get to know like too much about them, and you're like, wow, they're kind of pricks, and it kind of like. It affects like the way you feel about their music.
No, yeah, it does.
Yeah, so like I remember like I had met somebody that had was like kind of like casual friends with the lead singer of Queens of the Stone Age, Josh Homme, and he's like as far as like modern living kind of like rock star idol. That's kind of somebody I would probably idolize.
Yeah, he's good.
I think he kind of like is the antithesis of what rock and roll is, and I think he's the only one that really exists today that is like that.
Well, you mean like a Jim Morrison rock and roll star?
No, he is rock and roll. Like he embodies it in his music and his attitude, and like the way he is when he gives interviews and stuff like that. And and I told him, I was like, don't tell me, I don't want to hear a fucking word about him. Like I don't want to ruin that like kind of that
facade.
Yeah, the illusion that I have.
Mm-hmm. Because he could very well just be a pussy, for all you know.
Yeah, he could be just a total prick or a pussy. I mean, I kind of suspect that he's probably kind of a prick.
Probably. But you gotta be. I mean, you gotta be, I guess.
To a certain extent, yeah.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
I mean,
To a certain extent. Come on now.
But Chris Daughtry's an angel.
Chris Daughtry is an angel. Chris Daughtry, the movie. When is he gonna get his own 3D like live like concert like put into theaters?
God.
Never say never. Never say Daughtry.
Yeah, never say Daughtry. It's true.
Or Daughtry can. Or Daughtry.
Jeter's actually a biracial angel. Sorry, this guy's like.
Oh, the other guys. Yeah. He's a biracial angel. God damn
it. Anyway, but.
So I guess we should probably start off with. Let's start off with one.
Recent.
One we watched recently. Pearl Jam 20.
Yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed. I like the. Not really, like, because, when he got all, like, when Eddie Vedder got all political, that's when it stopped getting good to me.
Yeah.
Like, because he was more, when he was, like, when he got to learn, even before Pearl Jam, about, like, Mother Love Bone, and about how, they started Temple, like, they made that CD Temple of the Dog.
Yeah, you get to learn, like, the really interesting kind of backstory.
They were all, like, friends, Chris Soundgarden and Pearl Jam.
Well, it was cool to, like, see, actually, the supportive nature of the scene in Seattle at the time.
Mm-hmm. It was pretty awesome.
No, it was pretty neat, and like it was very interesting, kind of just seeing like where they came from, and how Eddie Vedder is actually kind of not a third wheel, but like he was an extra added ingredient.
Yeah,
because they already had a band and they needed a singer,
right?
And Eddie Vedder came in as a hired gun at first.
They got lucky. Yeah, they got lucky though, that he was actually like musically talented.
Yeah,
like, not just a good voice. He understood like music somewhat. He
understood music and like. To a degree. I mean, I think, Eddie Vedder, and at least at the time, was one of those people that went with, if it feels real, if he was trying to, like kind of put out, like, something authentic.
Yeah.
And it's something he actually seemed like he cared a great deal about. And that's something that they kind of, like, touch on in the documentaries, his small feud with Kurt Cobain. Well, which is actually something Kurt Cobain actually instigated, because Kurt Cobain basically was just talking shit on an interview for whatever reason. And then that's why Eddie Vedder took that personally, because he did feel like he was being very honest and he put a lot of work into his music.
Yeah, but after they met, like,
emotional experience.
After they met Kurt Cobain, he was like, oh yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, actually, well, it kind of lessened my what I thought about Kurt Cobain a little bit.
Dude, Kurt Cobain.
But you gotta. But
he was all high on heroin probably, and just not giving a shit.
Oh, probably. I mean, that's like when you watch. Was it Unplugged in New York? The concert.
Oh, dude, that kid's so stoned.
It's like a wreck. Like it's like, and it's like, almost like it doesn't make me think he's like some sort of noble musician or anything. Like, he's like, you're a fucking junkie, and you got lucky, man. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit, like, I mean, as I get older, I mean, Nirvana still is. I like their music, and I still enjoy Kurt Cobain's voice, but you know. It's whining, a lot of whining. But like, you mean like no, but like when you listen to Pearl Jam.
Well, I think it's
Pearl Jam's got a set of balls sometimes. Like most of the time.
But it's just I think like Nirvana got to go out on its peak. Pearl Jam like hit some sort of like weird area in the middle.
Well, they were on cruise control.
They were on cruise control for a good probably maybe 3 albums, maybe through like Vitalogy. No, those aren't on cruise control. Those albums.
Well, they're their first you're talking about like after, like I thought you meant like I was saying, but they never really slowed down. They never had like a drop of fame. That's why I'm saying like. I'm like
no, they've always been very popular, but like no, we've gone through like creative lulls. At least it seems like that as the listener. I'm struggling with like some names of their albums right now.
Not everyone's like Radiohead.
Yeah, not everybody can be Radiohead. Just pump out gold. Although I'll say King of Limbs, it was okay.
I know, dude. I enjoyed it. The more I listened to it. But anyway, we're talking about Pearl Jam. We can't get all lost in that right now. Johnny Greenwood, awesome. But anyway.
No, but but like the documentary doesn't, because it's very like it's kind of a puff piece. It's very pro Pearl Jam. Like, Pearl Jam are the heroes of that story.
That genre,
that story that they're telling in the documentary.
Yeah, they did try to.
Nobody's a bad guy in that.
Yeah,
ever. It is, man. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, they show you some of the tribulations they went through. They even kind of go into some of like how Eddie Vedder was kind of an asshole for a little while, even to his own bandmates. He
got egotistical.
His head was a little inflated.
I mean,
it seems like they've come back down now, though. Like where they're in a place, which I mean, I heard their last album, and it was okay. Like,
what was the name of it?
I mean, the past few albums have been okay. They definitely have been like harking back to like they're kind of the good old days. The first few albums of Pearl Jam.
No, yeah. I mean, like come on, like Yellow Ledbetter, freaking Better Man. Those are classics.
No, they have some very like solid just good music, and the documentary does do a good job of kind of like showing you where those songs came from and stuff, and it was just interesting to hear the kind of the stories behind them.
Well, the best part of the documentary, dude, they wrote like 10 in like it wasn't like a few weeks. Didn't they like basically write all those songs really short? Because didn't they play their show only being together for like a very short period of time? They played their first show, and
after being together for
they played like Alive.
It was like for a month or something.
Yeah, but they played Alive.
Yeah,
and
they played all those early versions of things that we got to know.
And they were still pretty fucking good. Like they were still pretty decent.
It's funny actually hearing like it's kind of like makes you feel a little bit better. You're like, oh man, they suck too. Because mean, Dan and I have dabbled in music, and Dan's a very awesome guitar player and musician in his own right. And I had been in a fairly mediocre band a few years ago. Good. And well, like it's just everybody has that experience the first time you play, and you're terrified, and like doesn't matter how much practice you put in or whatever, and everything always goes wrong, and because you don't know what each other is.
Either you're gonna hit it or you're not.
Well, no, it just takes a long time to, I think, be able to play. As a band, you have to become a unit. A unit,
and not really give a shit about the crowd. Just feel it with each other. I mean, like that's what I noticed. Like, because like when they were doing the MTV in the documentary, they were doing an MTV spot, and he couldn't hear himself, and obviously the band could tell.
Oh, and he didn't want to be there because remember that was the only day off they had been. Yeah, they only had one day off.
Weren't they kind of forced into it by their manager?
And it was like a last minute thing, and it just I don't know ended up being really bad. It's kind of I guess something I had actually never heard of.
Yeah,
they did it for a Cameron Crowe movie.
Really?
What the fuck was the name of the movie? Yeah, because Cameron Crowe was filming in there.
Oh man!
And it was kind of funny because Cameron Crowe is the director of the documentary, and
I don't remember the name. I don't know. I really don't. But All in all, I mean, it was a decent documentary. I just liked the beginning, the whole thing about Mother Love Bone and
the first I think hour. It may be a little bit too long because I think it's a solid 2 hours, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a solid hour, 50 minutes, definitely. I mean,
like it might maybe 10 minutes too long. I think for just pacing because you kind of get a little bit bored, and it hits a point where there's just like talking about like how much memorabilia like each band member owns of their own band.
Oh yeah,
like
and the guitar player I think had like fucking shit.
Yeah, there was one guy who has like nothing and one guy who has a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
And Eddie Vedder is too esoteric to care.
I mean like when he did the Into the Wild, like that was
the soundtrack for that. No, his solo stuff is very soulful and
it's really
good music. It's good like folky.
He does have an amazing voice. Like I mean, like no one can sing "Rain Over Me."
Well, he's like I think he's probably 100 times better now than when he first started.
Well, because now I think he actually has to try. He's gotten older.
It's just a maturity, man. It's just like practice makes perfect.
Mm-hmm.
He's done it like every day of his life for the past 20 years.
Yeah, dude, he's
so
good.
I mean, it comes with it. You do get better, and he's just gracefully done it. Like where he's actually like his voice has just aged well.
No, it has.
You hear other musicians and their voices just don't age very well.
Like James Hetfield, his voice hasn't aged.
No,
not nearly as
not very well.
Do you know they're putting out another album, by the way?
Metallica's doing another album.
That's what I've heard. But
anyway, that's a good segue. We could talk about Some Kind of Monster.
Oh yeah, dude.
The one that
was so annoying.
Trashed all of our hopes and dreams.
Dude, I wish I never watched it. It ruined it for me.
Yeah.
It ruined Metallica for me.
Actually,
like, what a bunch of girls.
Except for
Kirk Hammett is gay.
Except for Kirk Hammett, he was the only one who had like he was reasonable.
I mean, dude, at least he was who he was. Okay, he was gay and he was a gay cowboy living on his ranch.
Living on his ranch with his beard.
Dude, he's fucking rocking it. Okay, I mean, I'm not trying to knock Kirk Hammett or anything, but I do think Dave Mustaine was more original guitar player.
Well, Dave Mustaine has proven that with Megadeth.
I mean, they're more consistent with the quality of music.
Well, dude, Megadeth's got some shitty songs too, but like they also have some. No, now they do, yeah.
Oh
I mean,
God.
But
Saint Anger. I mean, come on.
I think this is the way I've always like. This is what I've always said. I was like, when you're a teenager, you like Metallica, then you grow up and you like Megadeth. Like, if you're going to be into that kind of music still.
Yeah,
like, at the end of the day. Like, because Megadeth, I think there's a lot more to offer in their music, than Metallica. Like, I guess Metallica is just very simple. It's like ballads or, like, speed metal for like, half their career. And then
when Metallica came out, like, that's when everything kind of slowed down, though.
Well, the Black Album... The Black Album is because, they shifted in style completely because of Bob Rock, the producer.
The producer, yeah.
And
does he play bass for them too?
He does
on the documentary. He did.
Yeah, he did filling in Saint Anger, I think, because what was Jason Newsted?
Yeah, when
had left the band.
What was his name? Brain
Fusion or some shit. It was not a very good band. Actually, Jason Newsted was my favorite Metallica member.
Yeah, he was. A face, dude.
Yeah, because he always looked like he was having a great time, and the story of how he became the bass player is actually really awesome. He was a fan.
And what did he just try out?
Yeah, or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is, but he started out as a fan, like going to Metallica concerts, and then ended up somehow getting an audition or something like that, or meeting them at a party or whatever.
No shit.
Yeah, and it's in the documentary, Some Kind of Monster goes into that. It's an interesting documentary. It's actually a very well done documentary.
No, it's well done.
I think just at the time when I had seen it, I saw it when I was 15. I think when that documentary came out.
No, dude, you could have been
15 or 16.
It was 10 years ago. Almost.
Yeah, I think it was 10 years ago. I think it's 10 years old. I don't know. Maybe 16. I might have been 16 or 17. I was still in high school when that came out.
Really?
Yeah, I think I might be a little off on a couple years.
I didn't watch it until we moved here.
But yeah,
the first time I saw it. So.
But like it wasn't. No, I had just gotten out of high school when that came out.
Right, so that makes more sense.
And I was just kind of like my Metallica years were kind of ending a little bit, like as far as like it being like in my permanent rotation.
I mean, Metallica's the first CD I ever bought.
What do you mean, the Black Album?
Yeah, the Black Album. That was the first CD I ever bought, and then the second one was Pearl Jam's Dog Years.
Yeah, that's
Those were
right.
the first two CDs I ever bought.
But I think my first CD was The Offspring Americana. It's kind of embarrassing.
But dude, we talking.
But it was pretty. That was pretty fucking huge.
I mean, at least it wasn't like your first one's like fucking Blink-182. Okay, I mean,
no, it wasn't, but it was in there.
It was a second. It was a close second.
I don't even remember what the second one is. You don't remember the second one. You remember the first one. Oh, God. I don't remember what the second one. I used to have a lot of cassettes too. Yeah. But anyways, back to the documentary.
But some kind of monster.
But it's an interesting documentary, like as to watch something. Like, because it is an interesting period of their career that they had to go through together. And it was entertaining. It's interesting and entertaining to watch that happen. Like,
to tell you the truth, the one who I did not, like, really... Like, Kirk was, like, definitely first, like, the one who I liked the most. But I thought Lars wasn't that big... I thought Lars was okay.
No, Lars was an asshole. Like, he has no bedside manner.
It was because James was being a bitch.
No, but James Hetfield was being controlling.
Yeah, like pretentious and thinking like his feelings are the one that matters and shit. Like, I'm an alcoholic. My life's terrible.
Yeah, and he didn't want them to listen to the recordings.
Dude,
when he wasn't
fucking
there
that shit went on for like 500 days. It was like 500 something days.
Yeah, but he was an alcoholic his entire life, and he did it. He sobered up for the right reasons. Like, he's got a family, he's got a wife.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, like I'm not trying to knock alcoholism.
And he had to do what he had to do. And like, but you know, when I was younger too, I was like, oh, that's stupid. And like, it is stupid. And I think if James Hetfield was in a different mind state, he would have been like, oh, that is stupid, because that's. He was obviously just going. But like,
they're a rock and roll band with a psychiatrist, dude. It's like it was it was so like. It really felt like I was watching like a movie, like it was a movie, like about like a really stupid band.
Well, I mean, it's just
it was like Spinal Tap,
but they're regular people. Yeah, it is kind of like Spinal Tap. But they're just like regular guys. It just takes all the mystique away. It's just like any rock and roll band. Like if you pull behind the curtain, especially when they're in their middle age, you pull behind the curtain, they're not going to be anything like they were when they were 20.
Dude. I don't know.
Like, it's just the way it is.
Fucking.
People settle down because they cannot physically maintain. If they were to still live the same kind of lifestyle, like
they would be like Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, it shows up on stage and your performances start to suffer for it because your body just can't handle that anymore.
Yeah. Do you know? Side note.
What?
I found this out yesterday. Marvin Gaye was murdered by his father, shot in the head.
Probably had it coming.
Fucking crazy, dude.
I don't know anything about Marvin Gaye.
Fucking, let's get it on.
No, I know who he is.
Yeah, I
don't know anything about him.
I'm just saying, like, that shit was... I was listening to the radio the other day. And
I don't know, man. Maybe they had
fucking some Marvin Gaye. He got shot in the head by his dad was drunk, and they had an argument, and his dad went and got his, like, police special 38 and fucking popped one in his head. He was, like, 33. He only made 3 albums.
That's a bummer.
It's a sad thing, man. Sexual healing? Dude, it's fuck... anyway.
Anyways.
But, you know... All right, so
but I mean, at the end of the day, it's worth watching. Like,
yeah, it's worth watching.
It's totally worth watching.
I mean, it's worth. I mean, any of these things we're about to talk about worth.
They're all worth watching.
It's just like, but if you really don't want to see, like if you like Metallica and you want to keep the image, just don't watch it.
Well, if you want to keep the illusion of who you think they are, then don't watch it.
Don't watch it. You shouldn't be listening to this part right now because you just ruined it.
We just ruined it for you.
Your life's over.
Watch James Hetfield drive as many cars.
Oh yeah, like what the fuck is all that about?
Damn, James.
He's still daring and dangerous.
Yeah.
Right? I guess that's what they were trying to do.
Walking 25 miles an hour. No, he was actually flying one of those fucking little things.
I'm sure he's going like 90 to 100. That sucker was moving.
And well, since we just talked about Metallica, Metallica was a big fan of this band, the Ramones, and the documentary End of the Century.
That was really cool. I mean, they all knew each other.
The definitive Ramones documentary. It's an awesome documentary.
Dude, Joey, when they all started, they were all like, Joey was like fucking playing bass or some shit. Dee Dee was like playing guitar, and fucking remember that? Like they were all playing different.
Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah, that they were all like.
I know
Johnny
didn't know how to play any instruments. None of them knew how to play any instruments.
Right, and that's right. No, that's right.
Johnny played guitar. Dee played bass. Joey sang.
Dude, I'm telling you, they did something because Joey wasn't the first choice. Because remember, like
Joey wasn't, but he couldn't play an instrument. That's why, like, he was the singer.
I think he tried playing drums or some shit.
They wanted to be in a band, and they had to like pick pieces out of necessity rather than
seriously, they got lucky that fell together that way.
Well, like the Ramones, they are like second place in who started the punk music.
What were you saying? Sex Pistols did?
No, Sex Pistols came afterwards. No, the Clash came afterwards too. No, it's Iggy Pop and the Stooges. The Stooges were that's the proto punk band. Like that's the prototype. All other punk bands.
Who are all the New York Dolls and shit?
New York Dolls were after actually the Stooges, but the New York Dolls definitely have their place in that, and they bring all those bands up in the documentary.
No, they do.
They pay like credit to like who is deserving of the credit.
I mean, they even though the Ramones probably were the one that shot them off to stardom, like that type of style is the ones that really brought it out to light. You think, right?
No, well, I think a lot more bands were influenced by the Ramones than any of the other groups, like wanting to start a band like the Ramones,
or at like least got them into.
Well, the Clash and the Sex Pistols are the bands that like came out of the Ramones,
right? Yeah. Right. But I mean, like it was cool to see like that they all grew up together. They were basically like all from the same neighborhood.
Yeah, they're all like these New York, Brooklyn kids.
Yeah, like hanging out and like partying and doing stupid shit and
listening to the Stooges.
Yeah, and then next thing they know, they're
I don't know. I can't remember like exactly how they like decided to start like a band.
They just did, dude. I don't know. They must have just started. They just fucking bored one day, probably. I don't know how they did it.
Yeah,
I don't remember that part, but the coolest part of the documentary is Joey, the lead singer, Joey Ramone, was like probably, if you really want to go like straight up and say like who's probably like the like hardcore, like we're not talking about, I'm talking about like dedication. That freaking dude's like they said, I remember them saying he was like sick like all the time, like because he was super skinny and like he was always getting sick.
He just had a lot of health problems.
He had like cancer and shit. And
he had health problems for the time he was a child. Yeah. Well, that was their kind of thing. They looked at it as they were like they loved. Well, I think Joey Ramone did it because he loved being a rock star.
Yeah, but he was also super quiet.
He loved being an entertainer. That's like what gave him joy in life.
But on the flip side, he was super quiet.
Johnny Ramone's he was introverted. Yeah. You got your introverted side and your extroverted side. Yeah.
But he was
Johnny Ramone is the business side. He kept going because he's like, this is our job. This is the business. This is how we pay our bills. Like. Because however like famous the Ramones are, not the most successful people in the world. Like as far as music, like they are not swimming in cash. They're not broke by any means, but
they've done well.
They've done okay, but they're not like. But they also toured every year, like for years up until like the late '90s.
Yeah,
I mean,
Joey died
up until about like a year before Joey Ramone died, like. They were still a touring, functioning band. Like they never took a break in between that. And they have a ridiculous amount of albums.
Yeah.
I mean, their output and like they I don't know if they had to do that. Maybe they might have saved up a ton of money or whatever. But like, I mean, you see in the documentary, they're in regular buses and stuff like that. They're not in big tour buses.
Yeah, no, they're not.
Like, they were always a punk rock band. Like until the day they stopped performing. And actually, Joey Ramone's dead. Dee Dee Ramone's dead.
He died from heroin overdose.
Johnny Ramone's dead.
I think the
drummers, who you can like.
He's the George Harrison of the Ramones.
One of the 6 different drummers.
Yeah, but it's just because. Well, they were a great band. I mean,
they're a great band, and it's a fantastic documentary.
It is a great documentary
because it actually not only goes into like the whole history of punk. It kind of sets the stage really well while it's setting up like where they came from, the whole CBGB thing.
Yeah,
and how all those bands knew each other. All these kind of very like different kind of groups were all together at New York at the same time.
It kind of seems like that every generation. That had because every generation, whether like sadly our generation's fucking full of shit of music, mostly like popular music.
Well, our top 40 stuff is garbage.
It's fucking garbage.
You can make an argument. Top 40 music has always been that way. It's always been garbage.
Dude, come on.
No, I mean back then, their pop stuff back then at least had some sort of substance. Today it's just very empty, hollow, and very obviously just trying to sell you things, basically. Like
but I mean, like it's kind of cool to.
There's no art in music anymore.
I mean, it's kind of cool when you look back, like for the punk genre, what it sprouted in, New York, and then you got like the indie genre, like Nirvana and like all them off Seattle.
Well, that's grunge.
Grunge. The indie rock.
Actually, indie, if you quote unquote indie, came, if you like. Now that we consider indie a genre, indie used to just mean self-made,
self-produced.
But indie now is the genre. It actually is more of a New England thing. It came out of Massachusetts, Boston, stuff like that. That's where the Pixies came out of. Yeah. And the Midwest, and like weird places in the Midwest, like,
where you have nothing better to do.
Yeah. I guess
sit in a field and play guitar, do stupid shit.
But yeah, it's definitely. I'd put that in my top like 5 favorite. Like rockumentaries.
Yeah, definitely. End of the Century was pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was a good insight, you know, like to see how, like, you know, they did not have a lot of money. You know, they slept like on the floors of like in like areas, and
if anybody ever paid their dues, I mean, they paid their dues. They did all the things that you do when you're in a band, but they were successful. Like, you know, when you're in a band and you travel to places and you sleep in your car and stuff like that, and like the Ramones did all that, and they very candidly speak about it, and it's very just nice and refreshing to hear.
Yeah, that like, oh, it can be done.
That's all. It's just and that just everything's relatable. Like, you know, it's a story that anybody that's ever been in a band can relate to.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's fantastic, and it's kind of a shame. They never got like their due. They never got their due respect. They got inducted into the Hall of Fame,
which is good. Which is something they deserve for sure.
They totally deserved it. They have a very distinct place, and especially in American music, like they have a very distinct.
But even English, even in England.
Oh,
well,
they influenced a lot of people.
Yeah, they influenced a lot of great bands.
But, you know, the Ramones are just in that long line of American bands that were only popular overseas. I mean, even Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, he had to go overseas to get popular.
To break into
Eric Clapton had to go overseas. Yeah. Janis Joplin had to go overseas.
And then they come back and they're you know, awesome. They're huge.
Except the Rolling Stones, you know, they could. You know, the Rolling Stones. Side note, really cool thing they did. The reason why they got so popular so quickly. They weren't like the Beatles when they first. I mean, they were popular, sure, but what they did is as they traveled throughout the Midwest. If you can look at like where their songs progression, it's because they were playing to that area of music.
Yeah.
Where they were. That's why they kept kids stay popular on the road. They would write like Wild Horses
they changed. Actually, the Rolling Stones they've changed up their formula like all the time.
All the time, yeah. Try to keep it, you know.
Level. Like they were always fresh. They always did something different. Yeah. Like every album was kind of a different kind of concept, like a concept album. Yeah, basically that's kind of what they did.
But like
it always sounded distinctly Rolling Stones. They were always different.
I like Keith Richards. I mean, Keith Richards is a good guitar player and everything. But Brian Jones, man, like he was like when you listen to like Little Red Rooster and shit, the shit he did with that song, like, cause he was such an amazing like not just guitar player but musician. He was like Johnny Greenwood, like, you know, like play every instrument
for the day of
just doing crazy shit, like playing sitars and shit, and just like no one did that.
No, he added quite a bit of texture to the songs and the music.
Definitely, because you got to think about that. Brian Jones died after their first or second album.
Yeah,
and then Keith Richards, because Keith Richards was still in the band. He was just rhythm guitarist. Yeah, he was the lead.
Yeah, Keith Richards is not like.
But he did step up.
Keith Richards is a complete. He's kind of like Joey Santiago in the Pixies, where he adds just a layer of like different tunings and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's not really he's not like famous because he's an amazing guitar player. He's just a smart guitar player. He adds a lot of texture to that music.
It's the texture. It's always you know, he can solo. I mean, he can do it.
No, he can solo. But I mean, most guitar players at that level can solo.
Yeah, hopefully.
You know what I mean? But the things that are interesting about the things Keith Richards added were not his solos and stuff.
I mean, even Johnny Greenwood is not.
He doesn't really solo. It's all about texture.
Yeah, I mean,
he adds that extra something, man.
Right, that dirtiness, that grittiness.
It's what sets those bands apart from like just being another band.
Well, you work with what you got, just like the Ramones. They worked with what they had and they made it work, and they made it. You know, they worked hard to get where they did, sure, but you know, like they had this, like Johnny Greenwood probably can't play like, you know, Zakk Wylde, but.
No,
it sounds.
But he doesn't need to. He's doing something. He's on a completely different plane.
Exactly.
Of like what they're trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
So like Zakk Wylde, that's like a metalhead thing, I guess. You know, and then not that there's anything wrong with that. And it takes us fucking really hard. It's a great skill.
Mm-hmm.
But like he's not coming from that place of like trying to like just wow people with a solo. Everything he does is methodically like. It's all like so in line with the vibe and what that song's supposed to be about, and like the lyrics and everything. It all kind of crashes together. And he's like the glue that binds all those disparate parts in Radiohead.
Yeah, definitely.
And Keith Richards, I think, also in a different way did the same thing for the Rolling Stones.
Well, he kept the ball rolling because he was writing a lot of songs. He wrote a lot of songs for them. Like, I mean, Keith Richards and Mick Jagger, like. They didn't get along all the time, so I know that much.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you just spend that much time with another person. You know?
But, you know, back to End of the Century.
Great documentary.
It is a great documentary.
Totally recommend it.
You know.
And and then after that, the next one we're going to talk about is a band that came out of the Ramones.
Yep.
which is the Sex Pistols and the Filth and the Fury.
Yeah.
Which is actually a very cool documentary.
Yeah.
Because it's done all with like old like clips and stuff like that, old news clippings and stuff like that. And you have Johnny Rotten
being
interviewed. He's being interviewed in like today's time, but like he's done in this black silhouette. Like,
and you can't really see
everything's all archive footage to tell that story, and it does it in a really actually like I might watch it again actually later. I haven't watched it in a little while.
That is a great one. I mean, they only together for 2 years.
Yeah, it's a very short-lived but very like crazy and
one
like,
album,
wild
right?
ride. I think one like real album, maybe,
and then like half of another,
and then half of another one. They have tons of B-sides stuff.
Yeah, but you know because they really, I mean, come on, Anarchy in the UK. I mean,
no, I'm actually a big fan of the Sex Pistols. It's not for something for everybody, I suppose, but and not like a. I guess actually a big fan is probably an overstatement because I kind of like their big songs, like those like Anarchy in the UK and God Save the Queen and I Did It My Way.
There's not many more to fucking listen to. So
yeah, that's pretty much because they all actually like because all the songs I just named off, all of their songs sound like those songs.
Yeah,
you know, like those are the most distinct sounding ones. And then the other one seems like they're like riffs on those songs.
At least the Ramones, I mean, not like you know, Sheena is.
I don't know. They were just pop music, like very like, but played fast. They're like '60s pop played fast and with electric guitars and distortion.
Very true,
like
very
you know.
True.
But yeah, it's a great documentary.
Remember the birthday party they threw for all those kids or all the orphans or some shit? Yeah, did they do that? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was them. It's cool. It's another one of those things you learned. You know, they start at the beginning and where everybody came together and how everybody met and a lot of like really interesting, cool stories and I don't know. Really, really, really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that was a good one. It's just it was very. I mean, they're all gonna be informative. I mean, they're fucking documentaries about the band, but
yeah, but some are better than others, man. I mean, like some documentaries, you're just kind of like, why?
Yeah, kind of like If All Goes Wrong.
If All Goes Wrong, yeah. I guess when I was talking about that, disappointing. It's about the Smashing. Well, it's not really about the Smashing Pumpkins. It's about Billy Corgan
and how he's like trying to build the band back together. With all new people,
and he goes on this kind of the reunion tour.
I guess. I'm not gonna call it a reunion tour. I'm gonna call it self-exploration journey. Fucking write a new song every day. And play it on stage.
He would write new songs in his
like 20-minute fucking songs, like the same 3 chords every day. G, D, and C. G, D, and C.
Hey, if it works,
stick with it, man.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. That's Billy Corgan's. He's just like, I'm a minimalist. No, I mean, he went on...
Like, he's sitting there in a fucking dress and he's eating, like, lettuce.
Yeah.
Was it hard to eat healthy? He looks like a rabbit when he's doing it.
He goes on this, like, quote-unquote reunion tour, but he did an interesting thing that was cool. He played all smaller venues.
Yeah, the orange plate?
I don't even...
Orange peel or some shit?
I don't know. He went to, like, a lot of bars and speakeasies and, like, some places like that. And, he's just, it just follows him. Like and kind of like how his new band is integrating with him, but they're never like they're not the focus. They're very much on the outside. It's really just about how Billy Corgan feels and why he makes the decisions he does. Like he refused to like play like popular songs. He would only play like the newer songs. If I recall, I don't think he played any of the older songs.
I don't think he did. I mean,
not the popular shit.
But I mean, like even their last album, that Tarantula song was okay.
It was alright, but that's the new Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, I'm just saying that stuff was okay. But I mean, like. He is very pretentious. Like I mean like even just the way he dresses, it's like who the fuck are you?
He just does it for. It's like people like that act like that. They're like, oh, this is just who I am, and it's just like, well, then fucking deal with the consequences of people like staring at you. Mm-hmm. Like don't go out in a Sherpa, like in fucking Milwaukee, and then be like get pissed off when people say something to you. Like that's the kind of person Billy Corgan is.
Yeah.
Like, why are you wearing eyeliner, dude? Because it's me. Because that's who I am.
Well, I mean, like, to tell you the truth, I wish I could see what he was more, like, hear from the original band members, what really happened.
I would be interested to see a fair and balanced, like...
Right, like, unbiased
documentary about...
Not produced by Billy Corgan.
Yeah. No, I would like to... Yeah, and that's about the Smashing Pumpkins.
That's actually about the Smash, because...
Which there might be, if there is one out there, let us know.
Yeah,
we'd love to watch it. Like, leave a comment.
Like, or just, like, something, because it's fucking... That was a sad documentary. And like, just like, what was that? What's the name of that fucking song they would play? It's like 40 minutes.
Oh, I can't even remember.
It's
like a half hour.
It's like they kept getting longer, and people would like get pissed and leave and shit because it was
every night he would play. Every time he would close with it, like it would just get longer and longer and longer.
Goliath? No.
Goliath or something?
Behemoth. Dude, I'm saying Mars Volta songs. The fuck am I
doing? Yeah, right. Another good band, actually.
Yeah, they're cool.
If you want to get into like metal stuff today, like that's where you should
go.
That's
take it in slow, man, because there's a lot.
But those albums are made to be listened to. Like you listen to the album straight through.
Yeah, you can't listen to it once because it doesn't make sense sometimes. But anyway, you know.
Anyways.
But you know, another band from that time, the Flaming Lips.
Yeah, the Fearless Freaks is the name of the documentary about
which
the Flaming
I really
Lips.
liked. Which I kind of I like. I respect that. What's his name?
Wayne
Coyne.
Wayne Coyne.
Coyne is so close to fucking the Coen brothers.
He's. It makes you. It's totally biased, but like they seem like
genuine.
They seem like genuine dudes, and the only one that's ever had a problem was the guy
the guitar player and
keyboardist. He does it kind of jack of all trades. He's like the Johnny Greenwood of that band.
There's always a Johnny Greenwood.
Yeah, he's the guy who kind of pulls it all together. Mm-hmm. And they're just like they seem like just like very laid back, regular people.
No, yeah, I mean,
even though like they're outside, what they project to people through that band is like weird, freaky shit. And like really out there crap, but they're like regular like farmers.
But yeah, and like I like how he like. I mean, sometimes I think he's doing it like. How do I say this without like making like he's not a dick. He's not a dick. Wayne is not a dick. It's just the fact that he's like, oh, I wash all my own clothes. And do
you mean like goes out of his way to be like just like
genuine,
eccentric?
Yeah, no, just like he's like a genuine human being.
He's an eccentric guy. No, but like he washes. Well, yeah, that's what he washes his own clothes.
I'm not letting no fucking person wash my clothes.
Well, no, he has to wash his suit in the tub because of the stains.
All the stains, yeah.
And he has to like go and bleach all like the sweat stains and shit because he wears a white suit.
And the blood, the fake blood.
It's so awesome.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Like
I've watched
I can't listen to that band all the time. But like when I'm in the mood for the
dude, if I can see them live, I'd go see that shit.
Yeah, because that would be an awesome show. You know they would put on a great show, whether or not they sounded great.
And he gets in that giant ball and he runs across the thing. That's pretty neat. But the origins of the band
are awesome. Actually, it's like actually a really cool story.
Yeah, like if you want to see like
it's not that started a weird band.
But if it's not my favorite. Like story, there's another one we'll talk about later, which is I enjoy that one more, but just like how like they were like, dude, these guys were like just tough motherfucking kids.
Yeah, well they're like, country kids. They're kind of like country kids.
Yeah,
in a way, and like because they still live in the town they grew up in.
Well, Wayne lives right down the street from where he grew up.
Yeah, where his parents live. It's and they have no desire at all.
But you know what? He grew up. That's the thing I noticed more about. Like he really grew up. Like, he became like...
He's like a dad.
Yeah, he's a dad.
He's a very regular guy.
Yeah, he's a dad. He's got, the brother that was like his older brother. Was it older or younger brother?
His older brother, the one that was...
riding the bike and shit all around town because he can't drive.
Yeah, because he's got in a lot of trouble. Had a lot of problems.
Yeah, but, he's a normal guy. And he's not afraid to show that either. Not at all. That his brother's been through some shit and whatever. Yeah, and I didn't respect that.
No, it was actually, while it was like a love letter to the Flaming Lips, it did feel like it was a very fair documentary.
No, yeah, definitely.
Because they do go through like because every band's got a dark period.
Yeah,
and theirs isn't super dark. It's really just like
it's before. It's their guitar. It's the before that's dark.
Well, it's like their guitar player had his problem with heroin. That's about as dark as it gets, and he gets better, and it has a happy ending.
Yeah, it does have a happy ending.
And he's clean.
Well, up till that point, it was happy. But it was cool. Like it's cool, like to see how they started like as kids just doing a punk band because they didn't like everybody. Then them and the Butthole Surfers like kind of hate each other for a while.
No, the Butthole Surfers
thought they ripped them off.
Made jokes about the Flaming Lips being like a rip off of their band because they both were around at the same time, but the Butthole Surfers were they had already kind of become more popular.
Right. So. You know, I guess the Flaming Lips probably just jumped on the coattails a little bit.
A little bit, sure. Oh, totally. But they developed into their own thing.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody starts at a place where you're kind of aping somebody
were just
else.
Like, they were like crazy rockers, dude. They were like rock. It wasn't. If you listen to their,
listen to their stuff,
first shit that they ever done,
their garage band days.
Like, I mean, just talking about like, dude, they were just.
But by the time they recorded an album,
and they actually could play instruments.
But by the time they had recorded an album, they were kind of. Like they were the Flaming Lips. She doesn't use. She don't use jelly. Yeah. I mean, like Clouds Taste Metallic is like their first album.
Yeah,
and it's really awesome. It's really great. Like they have a string of fucking fantastic albums. There's no album actually they've put out that I've actually hated or didn't like.
No, but I like how they do that. What's that tape thing where like they had like
the tape experiment.
Yeah,
where they had like
the parking lot.
Everybody they gave everybody cassette tapes and. Well, that was they had a whole album like that, but they would tell people to start playing their tapes at certain times, and they would all sync up. All the tapes would sync up to make this kind of cool experience. Then they actually released an entire album that was that way.
Yeah,
it's called Zyreka.
4 CDs, right?
Yeah, it's 4 CDs. It's called Zyreka, and it's meant to be played simultaneously, all 4 CDs at the same time.
I always wanted to do that. I've never been able to.
I don't know if I have it. I used to have it. I don't know where it is.
I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to do it. It would be awesome.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, we gotta get a copy of that and try that.
But you gotta have 4 things. Shit.
You gotta have 4 CD players. Yes. That's kind of the
4 CD players. Yeah.
Because it's really cool. It's really awesome.
Technically, you only need 4 cars too. 4 cars.
Yeah.
But it was a great documentary.
Yeah,
it was.
It's really good.
It was really awesome. It gave you a good
for non-fans and fans.
Yeah, like seriously,
I'd say that.
I didn't start listening to Flame Lips until I watched that doc. I didn't even know who they were.
Well, because it's like a lot of documentaries do that, where you see the snippets of their best songs.
I mean, do they not make a lot of money?
I think they do okay.
Do you think he's a millionaire?
No.
Because I mean, like, dude, remember he was making that video? It's like self-produced.
They might be.
Do you remember that? You were there. You were there watching it with me.
I don't remember.
Remember he's making the homemade movie?
Oh yeah, I know. Christmas in Mars.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. I've actually always wanted to.
Yeah, I don't think it's probably not done.
I've heard it is done.
Oh, it's done.
Yeah, it was done like a year after that documentary came out, and I heard it's terrible.
It's supposed
to. I still want to see it.
I mean, of course it's gonna be terrible. It's like
Christmas on Mars.
It's made with like a fucking high video rate or some shit, you know. It's.
I just heard this.
Even watching the clips, it's fucking.
Well, it's just weird. Very good. This is weird.
But I mean, hey, at least he's doing what he wants.
Oh yeah, he did it himself in his backyard.
Yeah,
I'll watch it.
Fucking like an old septic tank or some shit.
Yeah.
It used to be like a septic tank.
All right. So, anyways, good documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Good documentary. The next one we're going to talk about is The Devil and Daniel Johnston.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. That's probably one of my favorites.
This is probably, for me, it's like probably my favorite, actually one of my favorite documentaries about just like a person. Like, it's just a great story of a person.
I mean, his music is not it takes some.
It's an acquired taste.
But like no, even if at first you won't like be like, oh my god.
I would not have liked Daniel Johnston's music if I had not watched the documentary.
I mean, you know what though? The one song I do love is from the documentary, Funeral Home.
Oh yeah.
Don't Play Cards with Satan, but you're right because
because you can put his music in context once you know his life story.
No, yeah.
And like that's kind of what makes it awesome. Like that's why it's so good.
No, it is
because you know it's all sincere and where it all comes from. Yeah, it's like such a harrowing story.
I mean, it is. I mean, it's like freaking crazy. Like the shit that like happened to him. Like okay, for example, no, I'm not even talking
the shit he does to himself just because he has kind of he has kind of like a mental disorder.
It's like
that got worse.
He got a psychic break somewhere. Something happened.
Psychotic break.
Yeah, psychotic. Yeah, psychic.
Psychic.
His mind.
The dead zone.
yeah. Christopher Walken.
Yeah. He's trying to kill the senator. He's running for president.
No, but the like just like it's like it was written by like Mark Twain or some shit.
It's kind of like a great American tragedy.
Yeah, no, but like how like he was working on a carnival and like he was taking too long in the bathroom, so one of the dudes like knocked him out and he woke up and everyone was gone.
Yeah,
and he ended up like wandering around the streets and
that stuff that even
freaking out. Remember he's in the river. He's going
Well, they talk about in the documentary the stuff like about the carnival and stuff. They have no way of verifying that. Like that's just what Daniel Johnston said happened. so they don't know what happened about the
True,
because he's like unreliable.
yeah.
He would be unreliable to be like, okay, I totally believe you. That's what happened.
I'm sure his mind's a little spotty.
Well,
but for a guy who uses 3 chords for every song and can still make it sound different, it's pretty good.
Well, he's got some sort of mental retardation thing.
I mean, I don't know
going on, but like it's like some kind of autism that got worse.
It's like Asperger's disease.
But it's like as he got older, it got worse.
Yeah.
And because like he was very competent.
He's younger,
when he was younger, he was weird, but and simple.
He was functional,
but like he could function and move on his own and stuff. Now that he's on this medication,
and he's older, like still in love with that girl from like college, like 20, 30 years later, or whatever.
It's something like don't want to give too much away about that one. I would say
watch it.
Watch The Devil and Daniel Johnson. Like, go on Amazon, order a copy. You can probably get it used for like $5.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. It's probably actually one of the best musical documentaries I've ever seen.
Yeah, one of the best. Definitely. About a musician. Not only because of the music, but it's mostly just because of his story. Like, Daniel Johnson's just got a really entertaining story.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Oh my God. Oh, I'm gonna say Plane, and Casper the Friendly Ghost. Fucking crazy.
Great stuff. Great stuff.
But all right.
So we're kind of winding down here.
Okay. All right.
Let's pick 2 more. Well, okay, we can do. Let's do quickly on that one. Hated
G.G. Allen.
G.G. Allen.
Shit.
It's a short documentary that was actually directed by Todd Phillips, the guy who directed The Hangover.
Really?
Yeah, it's his first thing he ever did.
Oh, dude, that shit is fucking ridiculous.
G.G. Allen's just a disgusting person.
I mean, yeah.
Like, I mean, if you don't know who he is, look up G.G. Allen.
And if you don't want, you're like,
I don't know if you want to. I mean, this is a man who shoved bananas up his ass
and then eat them
and throw it at people on stage. Always got bare ass naked.
He was pooping his hand and like a fucking crazy animal.
Attack of the audience. The audience would attack him back.
People give him head and shit. Even though there wasn't much to suck on, but whatever.
Yeah, he has
like a
very
small dick.
I mean, we're not saying we got big weenuses.
Yeah, but I mean, dude.
That was a small dick.
That's just like, it was like the tip of a pinky.
Yeah, it really was.
It really was. Like in like little balls. It was kind of cute, in a way. Like,
oh, somebody get that thing a sweater.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah, but that it's, if you want to see something that is kind of more of for shock value.
Oh, it's totally shocking.
And the story is not important as much as you would think.
Because there's no story. Like, this guy tries to make a documentary about G.G. Allen, follows him, G.G. Allen disappears, end of the documentary.
No,
I know, but they don't know that it's because he dies.
Oh.
G.G. Allen's dead. Sorry if I spoiled that for you.
No, he did tell you.
No, I know, but they're like, we were following him, then he disappeared.
Oh, disappeared.
And then they find out 6 months later he's dead.
Yeah.
Like, he showed up again 6 months later and had an overdose.
Yeah, well, no, he got beat the shit out of by his fans.
He OD'd.
Yeah, I know, but then he went home and he OD'd.
Yeah, he just OD'd.
But,
he was a piece of shit junkie. And, like, people, I don't understand, like, people that, like, hang on to G.G. Allen and act like he was like some important
he
thing
wasn't.
In music. He wasn't.
He never sang.
He played bad punk music.
I mean, like, but
like
he never
that you can hear. You can go to any bar in the United States when there's a punk band playing and hear people that are more competent than G.G. Allen and the Murder Dolls, because that's the name of the band.
I would rather listen to Blink-182.
Ooh, no, I wouldn't. I'd rather listen to G.G. Allen.
Fuck that, dude. It's just there's nothing. It's like growling and fucking not even like words, whatever.
Anyways, okay. Well, I gotta throw this one in there because it's probably one of my all-time favorite bands. Loud, Quiet, Loud, about the Pixies reunion.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I will say this though, it's actually not my favorite documentary.
No, because
it's a go nowhere documentary that never gets very personal.
Like, why will they not do like a real documentary about the birth of the Pixies?
There is another one.
I think they're waiting for that.
There's a short one called Gouge.
That's about 45 minutes.
That's about 45 minutes. It's on like the first DVD that ever came out for the Pixies, like a concert. As a concert, it has this little documentary. Documentary's great, but it's kind of like short. And Loud, Quiet, Loud. It's really short documentary.
They're good companion pieces
about the Pixies reunion. But the guys, if you listen to the commentary on Loud, Quiet, Loud, it pisses me off because they built a first like a half hour that it's the introduction to who the Pixies are, and instead they decided to cut that and just start, and it pissed me off because I was like, because not only it's like, yeah, I get that they made this documentary is going to be most popular with Pixies fans, people that already know, What about people that are just like want to watch a good documentary or something like that? Because they don't. The Pixies themselves are not personable enough, and they don't let like the camera into their life really.
Yeah.
So you don't like to maintain your interest. The only people that are going to like be able to maintain 90 minutes of interest in that are fans.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a fan documentary basically.
But it's a good. It's still it's worth watching. Like I mean, it's a if you like the Pixies, you'll watch it.
Yeah, and you'll enjoy it, and it's got some interesting stuff, and you do get to actually some of the behind the scenes about what happened when Frank Black left the band or basically disbanded the Pixies.
He just was on the radio one day and he's like,
he announced it on the radio.
Yeah,
and they heard it, they read about it in the paper or something.
But actually, his solo career is pretty awesome.
No, I like Frank Black all the way. I like the Pixies. I like Frank Black. I like the Breeders and Kim Deal and stuff. Joey Santiago's got a band with his wife that I'm the Martinis, I think, and they're okay. They're okay.
I didn't never listen to them, but it's definitely Gouge and Loud Quiet Loud is really good.
Yeah, those are good Pixies documentaries.
But last quick one,
Okay, and so what's the next one, Dan?
Dig.
Dig
is awesome.
Dig, yes. Dig is interesting, actually, because I don't really like either of the bands that are about this. It's about, like, two rival, quote-unquote, semi-rival
Dandy Warhols and the Brian Jonestown Massacre.
Yeah, and
even...
I don't know. They're two very, like...
The Dandy Warhols...
West Coast indie crap.
But they have some okay.
No, the Dandy Warhols has about 10 good songs, and they've written about 500.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
There's so many fucking Brian Jonestown Massacre albums.
Wait, you're just talking about the Dandy Warhol.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What are you jumping over?
Reverse that. Brian Jonestown Massacre has about 10 good songs and 500 songs written.
Well,
the Dandy Warhols, it really depends, man.
Once in a while, you'll find I was just watching a live concert. Once in a while, they do a cover of David Bowie's Fame, which actually is pretty good.
Yeah, no, I know. I've seen some live stuff, and they're not terrible, but I wouldn't put them in any aspect of being a
will they ever make the Hall of Fame? No,
they're not like a band I really like or anything.
No, it's the story's the best part.
No, it's the story. It's about the characters,
Anton,
quote unquote,
fucking
and how ridiculous they are.
Oh my god. It's just Anton was the biggest problem. The lead singer was very wicked, probably the most controlling I've seen, on a documentary. He was controlling his shit.
Yeah, he totally was.
That's what, because, how many band members do they have,
There's 12 people in Brian Jonestown.
Yeah, but moved out. Peter Hayes and Blackbird Motorcycle Club was in it.
Yeah, for a little bit, yeah.
And then they did Black Rider, which is actually pretty good too. Black Rider's awesome.
Yeah.
Some guys from Brian Jonestown Massacre.
Actually, I wish that's who I would actually like to see. A
documentary about BRMC.
Yeah, about Black Rebel Motorcycle Club.
Didn't the guys go to high school together or something?
Yeah, they've all known each other their entire lives.
Yeah. Well, now the drummer from the original first 4 albums actually, they quit or something, or he didn't want to do it anymore because now they have a girl drummer. They have a girl drummer now.
Do they now?
Yeah. On the live DVD in London.
Yeah, that's right. It's a girl playing. I don't know if that's a permanent thing or if that was just for the.
They did it. Concert. She was on "Be the Devil's Tattoo." That's her.
Is she's credited as the drummer on the album? I have no idea.
That's what it said in the. Whatever.
Anyways, back to Dig. Back to Dig.
Dig is really good, and it's
totally worth watching. It's out of this entire list, it will be the most engaging and entertaining.
Yeah, definitely most engaging.
Because it's like you said,
you don't know really who they are. For one,
it's a good story.
Yeah,
and you get to know them, and they have interesting personalities. I guess would be a polite way to put it.
Yeah, interesting personalities that clash.
Yeah, very egotistical lead singers basically in each band.
Oh shit, what's the guy with the tambourine? What's his name?
Oh, Joel.
Joel was the shit.
Yeah,
Joel was the best guy of that whole movie.
Brian Jonestown Massacre, they're kind of like a 60s throwback era.
Yeah, but they're so awesome.
Like hippie music, kind of almost from the 60s. But
yeah.
The thing about it is, though, that documentary, right? It will make you think they have a lot better music than they actually do.
Yeah.
Because you only hear little bits and pieces of songs, and you might hear the good bit of the song. But as a whole, because when I saw this documentary when I was a few, maybe 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and me and my buddy, had just gotten a Zune, and he had a Zune pass, and he was able to download every Brian Jonestown Massacre album ever, and we actually went through like in that, and probably within a month, and probably listened to every album they had. And there's like 20 of them, 25 of them, something ridiculous.
I mean, I think
I would
put like 7 albums in 1 year.
90% of their music is terrible.
Yeah, I mean
it's terrible, man.
I mean, like what's that?
Bordering on like it's unlistenable. Like
yeah, I know.
Sucks, man.
I know, but I mean, once in a while you'll find one and be like, oh, that's actually
no. But they have a few good songs that are like incredible. They're really great.
I mean, your devil. What's it? How devil may care? Yeah, mom and dad.
Yeah, I know.
The two best friends I never had.
Yeah,
it's
some kind of like terrible lyrics. But,
yeah,
like sounds really like profound.
But in the truth, it was honest though. At least I feel like that was honest from like maybe not from his mother's point, from his father.
I think Anton is a guy who makes up shit. Like he did, like throughout that entire documentary, and lies and like tries to get people.
Are you bleeding? Yeah.
Try to get people's sympathy and stuff like that. That's all he does.
I mean, he acts like he's like.
I might actually watch that when we're done because I haven't seen it.
He acts like a 12-year-old kid.
No, like, he acts like a spoiled, pretentious.
Oh, like if some guy fucks up on stage, he like kicks him and shit, and some guy like said "fuck you" basically.
Yeah.
Fuck you, get off my fucking stage. This is my fucking band.
Well, he was famous for getting into fistfights with his band members during concerts, when they play. They never, like they had a couple chances to get signed, and then Anton fucked it up because he was in heroin and spent all the money. I don't know. I don't want to give too much away, but like it's very self-destructive. Like you watch that band, you watch the Brian Jonestown Massacre self-destruct, and then you see the Dandy Warhols having to deal with like only being like mediocre, or only they'll never be super famous.
Well, see, the thing I think, especially if you're like an upcoming band and like you're trying to make it,
it's a good lesson. It's like a cautionary tale.
Yeah, like a very good cautionary tale. Like on both sides of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. Like like the Dandy Warhols were sellouts and they fucking sold out hard, and they sold out pretty hard, dude.
They sold out hard, and they
to their selves.
But they'd always,
like, weird.
That's like they don't have a problem with that. Like they were always intended to be that way.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. But
like the Brian Jonestown Massacre, by not quote unquote selling out, which means getting a record contract and making music videos, like didn't do them any favors.
No, it didn't.
Like half those people are probably like just obscure. They had a chance, and like somebody fucked it up for them.
Yeah, but Courtney, the lead singer of the Dandy Warhols, is that his name?
Yeah, Courtney, and that's a guy.
Yeah, he's a guy, and he's like such like a dick.
He's like, oh my god.
Like I kind of liked him when I first started watching him. But later in the movie,
if anybody's ever seen there's this show on IFC called Portlandia, because he's from Portland. It's a Portland-based band. If you watch Portlandia and watch like some of the characterizations they do about like the yuppies from Portland, and that's who that guy is.
Yeah,
like,
definitely
to a T.
Like,
have you watched Portlandia?
No.
Dude, you should check it out now. It's on Netflix. Me and Ryan watched the whole first season in one sitting. Yeah, it's really funny. It's like sketch based, but like all takes place in Portland. You'd have to watch it. It's really funny.
Yeah, Portlandia. Okay, check it out. But yeah, Dig is definitely worth watching, and like it's a good cautionary tale for both sides of being famous and like not being famous. Yeah, sometimes it really is just all about fucking luck.
I'd say 90% of it is luck.
But I mean, some people like the Ramones, they worked for what they got.
I'll say this: I think it takes some bands longer to be successful.
Like Modest Mouse, like 10 years.
Just because some bands have to pay their dues, it's just like any other job in the world. Like you have to just sit there and you end up paying your dues and just.
I mean, like Modest Mouse, took them 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, it took them 10 years because they
had to float on.
Well, they had to. Well, that's their most.
I'm just saying
artistically sound and commercially viable album they'll ever make.
Well, float on. I mean, they made that
whole.
They were dead before they even the ship sank too. After that.
No, I know, but I think the perfect one they did that was like worked in both like one foot in artistry, 1 foot in like commercial kind of success.
Commerciality, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely
it's a commercially viable album. Like anybody can like that. You can show that song "Float On" to anybody,
and they'll pretty much
they'll like it. Like but it's still a Modest Mouse song.
I mean, the only thing I can say
it's great.
It's ridiculous, but it's true. I just found this out yesterday too. Do you know? You ever heard of the rapper Drake?
No.
Well,
vaguely. I don't.
Like you've probably heard the name. Drake,
probably.
Okay. Do you know who the fuck that kid is? You know who the fuck he is?
No.
You seen the Sprite commercial?
Little Bow Wow.
You ever seen the fucking Sprite commercial? when the dude's like drinking the Sprite and his face comes apart and shit?
Vaguely.
He's from fucking Degrassi, The Next Generation, motherfucker. I used to watch that shit. I used to be like...
It's from Degrassi.
I mean, that's like one of the things, like, I would have to wait really late so no one of my family would see me, you know?
Canadian filth.
Yeah, right? He's... How the hell did this happen? Like, that's all
Canadian
I can say.
teenage smut.
I was fucking sitting there, I was like, that can't... No. Oh my god, it is. You were paralyzed in the show.
Drake!
You couldn't play basketball anymore.
Drake!
It was just... It was so sad.
I don't know.
But, you know, But... In the end, Dig is good. So check out Dig. Last one?
Yeah, we'll do one more.
One more for the road?
One
okay.
More. This is very long.
Yeah, it is. You guys are going to have to... Oh, which one?
Oh, we got... let's do both of them. Fuck it.
Ooh.
We can do both of them.
Alright, fuck it. You got another 20 minutes, right?
Yeah, you guys got nothing else to do, right? You stick around?
Alright. But, what do you want to...
Beats, rhymes, and life. This is what
the only rapumentary we're doing.
Rapumentary that is on this list. The Trials and Tribulations of a Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, and it's directed by he's
Michael
in Copland.
Michael Rappaport.
Yeah, he's
kind of a quirky actor, character actor.
Yeah,
very Brooklyn-y, New York-y kind of guy.
He's a
lot of fun actually. He's a good actor.
True Romance,
and
he's the roommate of Brad Pitt.
Yeah,
whatever.
And also, he was in Special. If you've ever seen Special, which I recommend, it's actually on Netflix. You should check it out. Mm-hmm. Guy who thinks he has superpowers and he really doesn't.
Oh, like Defendor.
It's kind of like, but it came out years before those movies came out.
Or like Super.
Came out like in 2006, 2005.
Really?
Yeah, came out a while ago.
That's
before like the deconstructing superhero movies came out, where the everyman, what's it like if a regular guy becomes a superhero?
Like Kick-Ass.
Before that trend started, it came out years ago, and it's very good.
But
and it's about a Tribe Called Quest, and which is actually a rap group that I don't mind at all. No. I'm not a big into the rap myself, but
they did something different. It was new.
They did.
Like taking the Kinks Lola riff and turning it. What's that? Apple? Is that no? That's.
I can't remember the name of any of the songs, man. Like this is a good example of I'm not really into rap. I like this group. They're okay. I only know about them through this documentary. I only know about them through this. I had heard their stuff maybe years ago, probably in a movie or something, or on a TV show.
Yeah.
But I only really know them through this documentary, and I still really enjoyed the documentary, even though I didn't really particularly care for the music.
It wasn't the best documentary ever, but it was. It
all comes down to that. It's always the fucking lead guys. He's a pretentious tool.
Yeah, what is up with that?
He's a tool. Like
he is a tool. And you got what the hell's the little dude's name? I can't fucking remember his name.
Sugar Tits or something.
Yeah, it's like Sugar Tits
because he has diabetes.
Yeah, they call him Sugar or something.
Rest in peace, Patrice O'Neal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's a cool guy. I can't believe he died. But anyway, it's just it was pretty good.
It's a good hip hop documentary. It is.
Yeah, I mean it's better than any Tupac or Biggie movie documentary you've seen, because at least the guy, you can tell he really gave a shit about the band.
Yeah, actually, that's the cool thing. Michael Rappaport is a lifelong fan of this band,
right?
And he treats it so, but he actually was very honest. And he shows you kind of how they're how they're ridiculous. They're act like spoiled children.
Yeah.
When they're dealing with each other, and it gets old.
And it also teaches you that money can really fucking
money changes
make
everything.
Hot girls marry you. The diabetes guy, his wife was fucking hot, and he was some fucking midget troll.
But he can spit rhymes, man.
Can I kick it? Yeah.
He spit hot fire.
Yeah, I'm dying. I spit hot fire.
Died on.
Who are the five best rappers of all time?
Died on.
Yeah, anyway, but that's something worth checking out.
Yeah, that's okay.
Especially if you're into
if you're into the late '80s, early '90s hip hop.
It's hip hop. It's rap, but it's hip hop. It's
before rap became terrible.
Before rap came crap,
which happened probably because of Biggie and Tupac. and Shaun Puffy Combs.
Dude, it got even... It was... I mean...
No, they started it. It's like Garth Brooks started the, like, ruined country.
Yeah.
Okay? They ruined rap music.
Yeah, but...
Their influence on what came after...
No, but no, dude.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I can't... Kanye West is a fucking true champion of that. He ruined shit, like, for a lot of people. Like,
but it was already ruined before Kanye West
college
came around.
years, dude? If you ever listen to Kanye West college years...
What were you talking... I'm talking about who influenced rap music... earliest.
No, I'm just talking because
Kanye West. Yeah, he's ruined it worse. He's made it worse.
No, but Tupac, like, all right, now Tupac, I'm like his stuff. Like, I've listened to a lot of his songs, like his albums and stuff, and it's. I will admit that it's pretty genuine. Like even Biggie, like not saying he came from some fucking broke home, which he really fucking didn't. Sure, he didn't have a dad, but 90% of the kids in his neighborhood didn't either, probably. So. Whatever.
Because they're black. No, not really. This is a joke. Calm down, microphone. Stop.
Yeah. But you know, it's the fact that, like, I mean, like when you listen to like Biggie's "Suicidal Thoughts," like I connect with him on that song. Like you, like
no, I'm not.
There's still that connection.
I think you could find that in any artist. There, even artists you don't like, there will always be some sort of line or lyrics to some degree that you could be like, oh, I can relate to that.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like at least that, like even with Eminem, like I know you don't like Eminem.
I think Eminem's okay.
Yeah,
like I put him in the same category I do like fucking A Tribe Called Quest as far as I like them. Like I can listen to it. Dude, I can listen to Tupac. I can listen to Biggie.
Yeah.
I kind of crossed the line at people like Shaun, like.
No,
Shaun Puffy Combs.
I didn't
what the hell was it? P Diddy? Is that Puff Daddy?
No, it's P Diddy. It's Puff Daddy. Yeah.
Well, it used to be Puff Daddy. Then it was P Diddy.
He's changed.
Now it's Shaun Puffy Combs because he wants to be taken seriously.
Right.
Okay. But at the end of the day, like I don't know.
Dude, his name's like a fucking mullet. It's a bit. It's in the front. It's all business. In the back, it's all sprayed party.
So what's that other rapper that's really popular? The one that's married to Beyonce. Like I know.
Oh, Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Shaun Puffy Combs wants to be Jay-Z now. That's why he's just like, I need a real name. God damn it.
God damn it.
God damn it.
Shaun Puffy Combs, it is. No, but you know,
raisin in the sun for you, sir.
No, but I mean, like rap has progressively gotten worse, but there are still great rap artists out there. Like Atmosphere is really good.
I agree. Yeah, you're right.
Atmosphere
you're totally right.
Is fucking.
I think Atmosphere is great. What the fuck is that other? The guy's like DMZX911. I don't know what his name is. Can't remember his name right now, folks. What's the guy who did
DMX?
No, not DMX. No.
Jet Li.
DMX, man.
What was that movie? Kiss of the Dragon, or was that
the movie?
Was it the movie he was in?
Exit Wounds.
Exit Wounds. Jet Li, right?
Was that Jet Li?
He did one with Jet Li too.
That's Romeo Must Die.
Romeo Must Die.
Is he in that?
Yeah.
Exit Wounds is with Steven Seagal.
Okay, I was like,
yeah,
it's probably equally as bad.
Some of the great shitty action, because there was like a period went through when like rap was really popular, right? And so like rap stars just showed up, and like tons of action movies.
Even in the Matrix, they had a couple rap. No, that was a boxer. Roy Jones Jr.
Roy Jones Jr. Yeah, that came in there. Morpheus. Hey Morpheus, how do you think that I'm gonna be able to get to Zion? Like, dude, like, man, it's cool if you're a boxer, man, but like. Why did you say that, Dan? You say that because you think all black people look alike?
Dude, wait, Shaun Puffy Combs got met. He was pretty.
Dan thinks black people all look alike.
He was pretty funny to get him to the Greek.
He was. He was
the best part of the movie.
Yes. Okay. Shaun Puffy Combs is the funniest thing in that movie,
which is not saying much.
Which doesn't say much for that movie, but he was legitimately. I actually legitimately was laughing. I did legitimately laugh
when
on
he did the whole Michael Jordan.
Because I don't like that movie, so.
Like when he did the Jordan thing, that cracked me up. I have 7 kids. Yeah. You know how many Jordans?
Yeah. How many President Jordans that is?
Yeah, it was pretty good. You know, he's like, you can't beat me. I'm black because he's running. He's running away from him.
Yeah. No, he's talking about like being crazy or something. I don't remember. I watched it once and I don't ever need to see it.
Well, I mean, in all, like beats, rhymes, and life, it's worth watching. It's a cool origin story, you know, and
it's an interesting tale.
It is a rag to riches type of shit.
Oh, it totally is. But it also shows you that, like, you don't really get anywhere unless you're connected to some degree. Because even that guy was connected. Like, who's, like, the nephew of somebody.
Yeah.
Like, they put the tape in somebody's right hands and they got a record deal out of it. Because they went pretty quick. They weren't a group for very long before they got, like, recognized. Recognized!
They just... their music is pretty decent, and it's worth a listen to.
It's worth. Check out A Tribe Called Quest. Yeah. Make up your own mind.
Yeah.
Be an individual.
Give us your views and opinions.
Individual thinker. And the stinker.
But the last and final one.
The final one
is about technically 3 separate bands, but
3 separate people.
People from 3 separate. It's about the most influential guitarists of supposedly who are still living anyway.
Supposedly, because I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Continue.
Well, let's start out with who's in it. Okay.
Well, just what's the name of the documentary?
It might get loud. Okay. And which it never really fucking did. Which
doesn't, because they're barely playing.
Dude, they played for like fucking. See, the whole time you're thinking they're gonna play like this like 20-30 minute concert for you, and it's like literally one song.
Basically,
yeah. Wasn't it a cover?
Yeah, it's a cover.
What the fuck?
No, but like the thing about
what's the jam session?
What is it? They play like Layla? I don't remember.
I
can't remember. I cannot remember what the hell name they play. But it was okay. It was cool. But like the thing is, a 90-minute documentary that tries to cram 3 people's backstories, lives into one thing, and then it cuts to them in a warehouse talking to each other about music and about what guitars they like and stuff. And like, the 3 people are
The Edge from U2, Jimmy Page from Led Zeppelin, and Jack White from the White Stripes, and the Raconteurs, and there's like another band,
and every other band, the other 6 bands he's in.
Yeah, but do you know actually Jimmy Page did do another band called The Firm? You ever listen to it? They're pretty good. Actually.
No, I never have.
Okay, they're pretty cheesy 80s music, but anyway.
Well, it's an interesting documentary. It was cool actually hearing some of the stories. Actually, Jimmy Page has like a very interesting life and where he learned how to become a professional musician. He was a session musician.
Yeah, he was a session, just like Jimi Hendrix was a session musician. And, a great deal of other. That's where he critiqued his skills.
He had to be perfect because
he got it down.
Yeah, because
he had to.
He had to play for other people.
He had to be able to walk into a room and be like, "Yeah, I can do that."
Yeah, it was a job.
Right.
Like you have to be good. Mm-hmm. People want a quality product when they pay.
They were kind of like the Backstreet Boys. They kind of got just thrown together.
Who? Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, dude. They didn't.
Oh yeah.
Like they were basically put together by a record company. Like basically.
To a degree, yeah.
I think John Bonham and Robert Plant knew each other. Like vaguely, like they knew each other from going to the bar.
That's not always such a bad thing, the Mars Volta used to be at the Drive-In, and they're a studio created band.
That's right. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, they were like, all right, if you like Mars Volta, who's more is like more, come on.
Who's what?
Well, actually, the first boy band was the Beatles, but whatever. Let's get over that.
No. I'm just saying, just because it's studio created doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing.
But usually today it does. Usually.
No, I'd say 90% of the time it totally is because then you get things like NSYNC and back. It's like that's how you create boy bands. That's how you create pop bands
and rap crap.
And bad rap music. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's but the documentary is very. The most disappointing part of the documentary is actually the Edge.
You find out
he really sucks. Actually, you find out.
He's an effects-driven guitarist.
Yeah, he's like Tom Morello from Audio Slave or
Tom Morello's way better than that.
He is better, but without his effects, he's not. He's still good, but
yeah, but I mean, no, the Edge is like the kind of guy he's like.
Dude, he plays 2 notes and just reverb and
and then he just tweaks effects and then plays 2 notes.
Which is nothing wrong. That's a skill in itself.
Yeah,
to be able to hear it. I mean, as
he is part of the distinctive sound of U2. It's the Edge and Bono.
He is the sound.
Edge and Bono make that band what we think of as that band.
Yeah. Because they're the only 2 people I know in it anyway. So.
Yeah, he's only 2 people that matter.
There's always one guy in the band that no one knows. Like George Harrison's like the unknown Beatle. Like everyone forgets George. Like seriously, if you weren't an avid listener to the Beatles and you were talking and people name the Beatles, obviously John Lennon, Paul McCartney, and Ringo Starr, and then people are most
people are like, and that other guy.
Yeah. George.
Goddamn hippie. That goddamn hippie, man.
Yeah, but it was pretty solid. It was a pretty solid documentary. Jack White, came from a Mexican. He came from this place. Yeah, where was it?
Michigan.
Michigan, and it was a Mexican Central. And he still plays his first guitar he has ever had.
Yeah,
he still plays it on stage.
You learn the backstories and stuff, and
it's pretty cool.
They're interesting, and they all have their own little quirks and things that are interesting. Like, each individual story on its own is interesting, but, like, actually being more of a White Stripes Jimmy Page fan, I kind of wish it was... The White Stripes and Jimmy Page.
Oh, I thought you were saying...
I would actually like to see just a documentary about the White Stripes. I don't think it'll ever happen. There is a documentary called Under Blackpool Lights about, like, a tour they went on, but it's only fans need apply to that documentary.
It's pretty boring.
It's very boring if you just don't really like that band.
Yeah.
There's no narrative structure or anything, but I would like to see a standard, regular, like, this is really who they are, this is where they came from, this is how they know each other.
Why do they have the same last name? Is this
why are they
married?
Why is Meg so creepy?
Yeah.
You know? Why is she creepy, man?
She plays those drums so
but and also has anybody ever done like an authoritative documentary about Led Zeppelin?
No.
Like, I want to see
biography channel.
Martin Scorsese do like a Bob Dylan No Direction Home. That's another one. Bob Dylan No Direction Home.
Oh man, I can't believe we forgot to fucking that one.
Yeah, dude, that's like a 3.5 hour documentary that is worth every second.
I think that's closer to 5. Dude, I think
it's not 5 hours.
It's long.
It's very long, but it's really
you never feel like it's that long.
No, it's extremely comprehensive, man.
It's kind of like you just can't wait.
It goes through everything.
Yeah, you can't wait to see what happens next. Even though you
actually he has one about George Harrison.
Yeah, I know it's coming out. It's supposed to be awesome.
I wonder if
it's supposed to be anher 4 hour.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
they did it for like PBS. He did the same thing he did with No
Direction Home.
No Direction Home, yeah.
You know, but that actually No Direction Home was pretty freaking amazing. Like,
but I would like to see that about like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Like one that's done the same way.
No,
Martin Scorsese, I don't think he'll do that because I don't think that's really his cup of tea. But,
no, yeah, Martin Scorsese is.
But George, he Bob Dylan and George Harrison, like very interesting people. Like Bob Dylan, he's a weird guy, but like he's very interesting. It's an interesting story.
Definitely.
You know.
But yeah, they're all. Oh shit! I can't think of anything else.
They're all good. They're all good, man.
They're all good. So Hated, PJ20, Daniel, the Devil and Daniel Johnson, Filth and Fury, Dig, Fearless Freaks, Beats, Rhymes, and Life. If all goes wrong, it might get loud, like Quiet Loud, Gouge, End of the Century, and No Direction Home.
And that forthcoming George Harrison documentary by Martin Scorsese.
Yes, but I guess that about wraps it up.
That's about gonna do it for us today. Thanks for having this chat with me, Dan.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Man, no problem. Here, anytime. I live here, so.
Yeah, so it's not too hard to get stuff to yell downstairs. All right,
sounds good.
All right, well, I'm Shaun, and you just listened to My Future Husband Face Fucked, episode 3. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you guys again later.
Yes, sir. Good. Hello.